Joining us now, Laura Packard, founder of Healthcare Voices. Laura, thanks for joining us on the program.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let me tell you, please tell me what's going on. I saw that you sent me some information about how the centrist Democrats are basically wanting you to open your pocket and pay more for prescription drugs. And they're holding up the whole, they're holding up the whole Build Back Better Act. They're holding it hostage. Talk about what's going on.
Okay, well, Build Back Better has several healthcare pieces, and one of the key pieces is lowering the cost of prescription drugs to help pay for it, because that taxpayer savings helps fund a whole bunch of other things like expanding Medicare. So it's critical. It'll produce billions, tens, hundreds of billions of dollars in savings. So we need this, not only because it's a good thing for us to pay less on drugs, but also to help fund our other priorities.
Meaning Medicare wouldn't have to pay for it, and therefore they would save money and could cover more people.
Exactly.
Okay, I just want to be clear.
Incredibly popular.
Yeah. For obvious reasons. I mean, I mean, don't the overwhelming majority of American people support this?
Absolutely. Not only is this incredibly popular, it's incredibly popular in the districts of these three Democrats that voted against it in committee. So these three Democrats, Scott Peters in California, Kurt Schrader in Oregon, and Kathleen Rice in New York, voted against their constituents, voted against something that 90% of their constituents want, and voted in favor of their Big Pharma donors.
Are their constituents aware of what's going on?
Well, hopefully they are or will be. There have been billboard trucks in their districts. There have been, there will be events. People are speaking out because I think a lot of what happens in Washington, people locally aren't necessarily aware of what your congressperson is doing, but this is so critical. They can't be allowed to take these votes in a back room and for the people they represent not to find out about it.
What about Manchin and Sinema? A lot have been placed on their shoulders for holding up, any number of good Democratic priorities, progressive priorities. Are they on board with this?
It's a little unclear. And in fact, today, Biden is having a lot of these problem children meet at the White House to talk through it. But all of these elected officials face a choice. They've all run on saying they would do something to lower the cost of prescription drugs. They've been saying that for years. And now is the time to actually do it. And if they keep saying they'll do something about prescription drugs, but they don't actually do it, nobody's going to believe a word they say.
Meanwhile, the Republicans also made these promises and did nothing. So I just want to put that on the table, that if you're in that district, just because this Democrat might be letting you down in this area, that doesn't mean jump ship and go to other people who would also let you down. I have Amy Vilela coming on the show. In fact, I can see her in the Zoom. She's there, which is going to be very exciting. And she is running against someone in Nevada who runs on things like lowering prescription drug prices, whereas she's running on healthcare for all as a human right. Isn't this, this is important, what you're talking about, but isn't it a little bit of deck chairs on the Titanic kind of situation going on here?
Well, until we structurally reform things, working within the system we have, there's only so much we can do, and we can try to get a better system. But at least for today, for September 2021, the best that we can realistically do is to pass Build Back Better with all the healthcare provisions in it. And so call your representatives, call your senators, and tell them to vote for this. And
call other people's representatives. Because they need to know that they're being watched. I don't know any representative or senator who doesn't eye the Oval Office or the speakership or, and they don't want higher office. So if they know that nationally they're being watched, their reputation is on the line here. I think that helps. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm holding Democrats to account because we expect better. And it's just the state of the world we live in. And then I expect nothing from Republicans, and therefore am not disappointed when they vote again and again against the people.
I'm assuming that these Rice, Schrader, Peters, these people have, pharma connections, maybe took donations. Do we have any evidence about if we follow the money, that it leads back to pharma?
$1.6 million in donations, but also pharma not only donates directly, but they can threaten to run ads. They have been running ads in key districts all along. They've been running 7 figures of ads. So that's why it's so important that we, the people, speak up, that we have to be louder than the money.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Laura Packard. Laura, where can people go to find out more information about this and get active?
Well, follow me on Twitter, L Packard. I am tweeting all about it. And if you live in one of those 3 districts, contact your representative today.
Again, everywhere. I encourage everyone to contact that representative. Say, we're watching, the whole world is watching. That was a good Occupy slogan. It's important.
Yes.
Laura, thank you so much for coming on. Laura Packard, founder of Healthcare Voices, always keeping us up to date on exactly what's going on. And it is important that we called today because Biden is trying to grease some palms or whatever he's going to do with these problem children, as Laura said. Thank you so much for keeping us up to date. I appreciate it.